Welcome back to CC Combos. Today I'm going to be showing you my violets, and I just recently got a new violet. So this is my newest pickup. I just got it yesterday, and I've been really wanting a violet this color, and I love this like ruffly style leaf or flower, but also the leaves are a little bit different too. So this is like a $5-6 one that you get at the grocery store, and you can just see the difference there. Not only are the leaves kind of more ruffly and larger, but the flowers are different, and I think these just look so much better. So I'm super excited. So I recently posted a video about like care for African violets, and this one here is actually grown outside, and this violet, which was my first violet, is grown inside. But they are all being grown with east-facing light. So they all are by like an east-facing window. All right, so now we're gonna look at this plant. And this plant recently, I figured out it had like powdery mildew. And I was very like confused how it got this, because I always keep the ceiling fan on to have good airflow. But I had noticed that it had a lot of blooms that were like prematurely dying, and they had like a white powder on them. So I'm gonna kind of go through what I'm doing to treat it. This plant is about to bloom again, and I'm hoping that these blooms will stay for longer, because what I did to treat it was I sprayed it with neem oil. And at first I was really nervous to spray this plant with neem oil, because these fuzzy leaves don't really like to be moist or like get water on them. And I always bottom water the violets that I have that are in like regular soil in pots, and this one's in a self-watering pot. So all of them are getting bottom watered so that I don't get water on the crown, which could cause this to rot. I just have this neem max, and there's like a little booklet, and it'll tell you for like different pests or different things, and it's like a ratio on how much water for concentrate you should mix. And I just pre-mix a pretty big solution, and then I'll put it in spray bottles. And so when I've sprayed the violets with neem oil, I've just sprayed them like outside, and I've kept them in the shade outside for a little while so that they have a lot of airflow, so that they're not staying like moist. Or when I bring them in, I keep the ceiling fan on, and I've had no issues with spraying my violets with neem oil if I have good airflow. And I keep it kind of in a shady area for a couple of days, because the oil makes the leaves more prone to burning from the sun. And as you can see on the packaging, it also treats the powdery mildew, which was very interesting because the violet did not have this white on its leaves, only on the flowers. When I looked at the violet, it was mainly just on the flowers, the like white kind of powder. But then I noticed in the soil, it had some white. So I had sprayed the soil with neem, and I cleaned the self-watering pot, all of it. I sanitized it. And then I put ground cinnamon on the soil. And actually, if you come here, I'll show you. Okay, so I sprinkled the cinnamon in here, and you'll kind of see the cinnamon right there. And I'm hoping that this will prevent powdery mildew or the fungus from, I guess, getting worse. In my last video, I mentioned about how I'm wanting to switch my violets over to self-watering pots, and this is actually the violet that I'm wanting to do this experiment with. And right now I'm just currently watering it from the bottom, so it has like a pot within a pot, and I just fill this purple little pot with water, and that's how I water it. But I'm going to start the process of figuring out how I'm going to transfer this to a self-watering pot. And in this video, I'm going to try some string that I have. I'm going to test it to see if it's a good wicking medium, to see if it like wicks water well. So that's the experiment that we're going to start in this video, and that will be part 1 to the transferring my violets to self-watering pots. So when I've researched wicks, I saw that like a synthetic rope does best, because like a cotton rope will like deteriorate like long term. So I went to the Dollar Tree and I found this rope, and it feels like a synthetic material. But I just noticed right now that this end that's frayed has like another piece inside. So this makes me think, I'm gonna do a test using this rope with the coating like on the outside and a test with just the inside piece. Because the outside is kind of like smooth and this one feels a lot more absorbent. For this test, the plant is gonna be, say this is the water reservoir, then this would be the plant pot. Well, the wick is in the plant pot and then it goes into the water reservoir. So the water needs to go from the bottom up. So that's how I'm gonna test it. So this is kind of what I'm thinking I'm gonna do, is I'm gonna put some water in here. Then I'm gonna take these scissors. I'm gonna try and cut this bottom piece out a little. Maybe just a slit, honestly. Now we're gonna cut this. I might honestly cut it like 2 times. Because I'm gonna use one for the test with this stuff off and one with this. So I'm gonna put it in there and then that part in the water. I might need to actually cut this bottle shorter. So this is the water side. And it'll kind of touch. Okay, that kind of looks like, I guess, what it would be like. Like the pot. I think it touches a little bit in the water, right? I don't know. Maybe it doesn't go in the water. Maybe it just like stays above. So let me get a chopstick. So I guess it will be somewhat like that. I don't know if it's that much distance or if the distance matters, but now I'm gonna place like a paper towel on the top part of the string. So I guess if the wick is for real, like it really wicks, it should make this paper towel wet. Or I should see some water start to go on this paper towel. This is kind of like the idea that I'm thinking for the first experiment to see if this wick is good. Like I don't know that much about physics, so I don't know if that water is gonna wick up or what's gonna happen, but I am thinking this is the water reservoir. That's the wick that goes into the water reservoir. This will be the plant, and that wick would be around the plant. And this would be over the water reservoir. Sometimes it like touches, but for this experiment, we're just gonna have it like not touching. And I put a paper towel by the top. So that's how I'll tell if that top part is moist. And right now, as you can see, the time is 5:11. So we're gonna come back in about an hour and see what happens. Okay, so this is gonna be the same rope, but I'm just gonna take off this like shiny bits and try just the inside as a wick. So we're gonna take that off. That actually looks like the wicks that you buy. Whoa, okay, so now we're gonna do the same experiment, but with just the inside. That actually looks really good. I had actually bought this rope to make like a self-watering moss pole, and I made it, but then I ended up hating moss poles. Like, I just feel like they're too much work, and I didn't want to keep that much like moisture in my house, so I just scratched that whole idea. But I had this left over, so now, so far, actually, that wick looks like it's wicking. You can barely see it, but you can see it's a little bit softer looking by the rope. So now, kind of the same idea as before. I'm going to put this paper towel in here. Maybe like this. Touch it. Put it in here. So it's kind of touching. All right, and we'll wait an hour, so around the same time. So it's been an hour, and we're gonna look at our experiments and see kind of what happened. So this is the one with the little coating on the outside. And let's look at this paper towel. Wow, that paper towel is actually really moist, and it's wet all the way to the top. So this looks like it could actually be a really good wick. Now for this other one, really weird because I thought that this wick was going to be super good, and it's the same rope, it just doesn't have the black and white shiny bits on it. But it's literally only wet right here. It's not wet anywhere else. But I'm wondering if I need to like soak this or get the rope wet before I use it as a wick, because it might be hydrophobic. Like sphagnum moss is hydrophobic. You have to like damp it before it absorbs the water. So I almost feel like that's the case with this rope. I think the rope with the black and white like woven material around it will work great for a wick. So the next video, I'm going to be transferring my violet to the self-watering pot. I just need to buy a pot or figure out some sort of pot setup so that I can transfer the violet into that. But I hope you enjoyed this video and that you subscribe and come along with me as we explore transferring our violets to self-watering pots. My experience, I think self-watering pots are great. It makes it super easy to take care of these plants, and they just really thrive with these pots because they like to be like consistently moist. But I'll see you in my next video.